ASMR. Okay, let's get into this. I don't think I need to talk too quick because there's not too much to go over today. So we'll try to keep it in this kind of tone and level. Long story short, what I think is that we're going to have not a reversal, but the next worst thing for a reversal on the dollar. Um, so like I've said before, there's two kind of bad things, or there's a couple different ones. But what we'll see in a sense like this, let's say we have our averages here. Actually, we could just do this. So there's two bad things. One is this. Okay, we could just do this. One is this, where we're oversold. I mean, this is ridiculously oversold because we just skipped this whole range right here. I mean, we can see is obvious. These holes always, I don't know why, not always, but if it works in the past, it usually keeps working. Not always. I don't want to say that. Just ignore that. I don't. That's kind of dumb to try to generalize something like that. They work pretty often though. But anyway, so we have an oversell that starts under. So we could say, okay, we're in this range, which I think is reasonable, but a lot of the times, more than not, what's going to happen here, unless there's some overarching thing that's pushing this down, like some crazy fundamental thing, is that we're going to come back up to test. And the issue with coming back up to test is, right, you can start within this up above the average and within the range, and it can form into something. The next worst thing would be where you don't actually start. It's not an actual reversal where you start out and then you start back in, which is what I always call a reversal. But we do have something where it's like a fail to break down with it. We'll just like, there's nothing to really call it per se. But the point is, if we have this wick down here and then we start in here, we're still in this range. We're very oversold. And essentially, long story short, is what we can just think of is that we have a wick here. Is we have data, we have a trend, right? So if we do get back up, and if we do start next Monday up here, I could see the market pulling back a little bit. I'm not really too worried about it, but it is something I think that could be a concern. So in that sense that the dollar could do that, I wouldn't be surprised if we don't pop up on Bitcoin. I'll get kind of into Bitcoin a little bit and what I don't like about it. On the long term, I don't think it matters. On the kind of medium term, I don't think it matters either. I think it's going up. But until like next week, I definitely think it's possible that we kind of just still sit in this area and trend back down and maybe even go down 2% to like around 42,000 or 41 something. But we'll look at that in a second. So that's kind of my concern regarding the dollar, and just the price action that we've been seeing and the hesitancy from Bitcoin and some of the market also, I feel like I'd say as well. So let's see. Man, I need to clean this. I need to clean some of this room. I'm lazy. Anyway, so let's kind of just go to Bitcoin in a sense. Just a quick brief overview. What I don't like with Bitcoin, I kind of said it before. Right, we added on a position, we got out, shorted. I don't remember. We longed somewhere, sometime. I don't remember. There was a long somewhere, and then today we got a short. Anyway, I don't want to get too much. I don't remember all the. I don't remember. It doesn't matter. I remember every trade I did. I just don't remember where everything was specifically. It's don't care. But anyway, let's just kind of look at this. Right, this is nice. Like the point. Oh, this is the point I was trying to make. Right, these are pretty standard things. Like even though I did lose a little bit here, I think this is reasonable. Able to get out. Messing with like Mara before I got like super screwed and things like that. Super cool. We're following the averages. We're working with them, even if it's not perfect. It's still respecting it to a decent extent. Now we're not, right? We come back, this is what it is. So we come back above here. This isn't the worst, but we like push up too quick. So it's fine, I guess, in a sense. We don't push down, but we push up too quick. And then we try to trend back up again without coming down to this 42,500 level, which is just very, very strange. Very strange. The only thing I can think of, just I'll say it quick, that explains this is that they're just trying to mess with the price to keep it here. I don't think there's any real reason that we aren't moving up besides that. Like if we're gonna move up anyway, I think they're. I don't know. I just feel like they're just shaking people out. It doesn't seem like there's a lot of a reason for Bitcoin to sit here. I don't think a lot of these alts have been going crazy either. So it just seems kind of weird. So in the sense that it seems kind of weird, I don't mess with these things that it's weird now. Like I got let's see, I got a put. Like I played calls today, and then I got a put, and it went against. I got a put here when we opened the 4 hour under. It went against me. I was able to make almost all of the back on the put, which is nice. When we obviously we're gonna get sold down here. Oh, was it here? No, it was the 11th. thought we trended back down. We must have trended back down, then pushed up. That's what it was in the beginning of the day. Anyway, but I was able to make that back, which is nice. But like, why the heck did we just push back up through this? That's essentially what I'm trying to say. It's like I've been playing this pretty well, pretty straightforward. But once we've been here, it's just been very weird. And so from that, I think we're coming back down. I think we're coming back down somewhere 41.8, maybe somewhere down here. I don't trust this. Like, right, we look at a day time frame. Still looks pretty nice. I think this looks pretty nice on a day time frame. Look at it on a week time frame. I mean, this looks really nice. We'll see how it turns out. I mean, it would look nicer if we started up here, but we'll just kind of have to see what happens. Now, with regards to the dollar, if the dollar could have like a chance to try to push back up, I'll put it this way also. One of the reasons why I could imagine hesitancy being here is to see, are we actually going to start relatively right here for what usually is a possible, this is usually a rejection that pushes back down. Not always, but it usually is. So essentially, like the big move, if you're really trying to throw something or expecting the dollar, would be this range. So we're not in that range yet. So I could definitely see the hesitancy being here in case we start in this middle range as opposed to the bottom side, because that definitely could send Bitcoin down a little more. I don't think it changes anything. But everyone's in such a bullish position. I wouldn't be surprised if we had a fake out again. And even if we start down here, we have so much here at the top of this range and probably like over here also as well to the left. I wouldn't be surprised. We just put a line here. I mean, this is pretty decent for what it is. We could almost put a line anywhere here. But this whole area is pretty heavily guarded. So I like what this hole represents and what's up here. So for me, I would imagine, I don't just trade off of like a guess like that, but I would imagine if we do start here, we do come back up. Most likely we find resistance and then we start under and then move under. So I think we might have another move in this area essentially before we push further down. That's essentially what I'm talking about. Or that's essentially what I think. So we'll see what happens. In the medium long term, I'm still not worried about Bitcoin whatsoever at all. I don't think it's too big of a concern. Some things I'm looking for. Mara was nice. We hit the 18. I don't know if Mara needs to push up anymore. Like I was saying in the morning stream, like if you want to stop this, like they're trying stopping it here. It made no sense. It was so stupid. Like if you want to stop this, you either try to stop it here or here, within these two ranges. So, or was it here? No, it was like for some reason it was 17.5 and around like 18, but this puts it at 17.3. Maybe I was looking at a short time frame, but around here. So it more or less it came. I think it was 95. We topped at 99. So it almost came to 18. So it did what I think it needed to do. It could push more, but I don't. It's to me, it's done what it needed to do. I don't. I think where it is pretty reasonable. Just looking at the averages and regards. I mean, we have a lot of resistance up here, right? Like falling back under here is usually a pretty big thing. Fall under, we range, try to fight up. Boom, boom. Like even if you lose money here, 28 to 22, still puts you in a decent position because it goes 23, about 22, 23, all the way to G's 5. So anything you lose here, it's not that big of a deal. But it's definitely something of concern. Also, Riot's pretty nice too. I think Riot actually essentially has this, but a little bit closer to where the price is. So I'm kind of looking at that a little bit now too. Um, I think for me, it's still worth it to get in here. Like, I mean, this is still like money, right? You know what I mean? Like you still buy here at 17.52 and it goes to, that's what, 3%, 4% or something, 5%. So there's still nice stuff to gain. I think there's definitely a decent possibility that we just range here or that we do go between 17 and 34. So I'm probably going to play Riot first before Mara, but it just really depends when and if. And what the heck's that? Oh, okay. Man, this must be a long time ago. I don't know when I would have put that there. Okay, let's see some of these other ones. I mean, everything's kind of just like, I don't know. know if some of these are even worth it looking at. This is all over the place. Meme is still all over the place. I don't like it. All this stuff is like perfect, 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 ugly, ugly. Like all this stuff is just ugly. I don't know if most people know what's going to go on in like the short term. Like I said, the medium long term still seems like we push up, and it seems very hard to expect that we don't. I think this is the fat. I don't remember the next Fed meeting is. Maybe it's in January. I don't remember, but there's a decent amount of time, so it's hard to see something that comes up that's like super crazy horrible. That's going to send the dollar like shooting all the way back up, and it's like maybe I don't know. It's like I can see it, but what I'm being asked essentially to assume is this fails, this fails, which I mean, geez, this is so freaking high. That's insane. But I mean, like, I'm not surprised, but you know, it's like, I mean, I'm not surprised. I mean, like, let's be honest. So I still think this can go to 48K. I think 48K is the next target. But I mean, right? I mean, it's not anything new. So, and then right, we're asking also on the Dow Jones. We're saying this is going to fail. Nasdaq's saying essentially this is going to fail. Right? We started above all the what do you call them? All the averages, like every single one. Everything is lined up as nice as it usually pretty much can get. The VIX still looks sketchy. It's trying to push back up, so it's still something of a little concern. But we're still under here. I'm not really worried about the VIX. We got this. We got okay. I did click that time, so we got this up here. We can go daytime frame. We got this here. So what we can see is we can just ignore the week time frame. Boom, boom. Now we got our range right here. So obviously this is moving every day. Yesterday it was 6, 6, 6, 2, 5, 8. So it's probably gonna be 5, 4, maybe a little bit lower because obviously we are, 5, 4, 5, 3 maybe tomorrow. So it's moving fairly quickly. But this looks pretty nice. So I wouldn't be surprised if we do have, and that's quite a bit coming back up 30%. Now, it's just the VIX. It doesn't, just because the VIX shoots up 30% doesn't mean the market even comes down like 10%. Um, but I do see that as a possibility that they could play for. I don't think we've come down where I wanted to, which is 1150, but it's not that bad actually. It's not that bad. This actually, I could see this. I could see this. I would have liked to have seen a little more towards 1150 because essentially, if we look at this right here, where we stopped is right there, so we can see this hit a lot of this stuff. What I was really would have liked more is to challenge this and specifically this right here, right? Come down real close to 1150, double bottom without actually coming under where that is. That's kind of what I was hoping for. We'll see though. Um, I guess for Doge, what I still want to see is I'm looking for this on the week time frame. I'll get into this. I'll throw maybe 5, 10K and we'll see. But that's if we start the week over here. If everything looks good and the dollars doesn't start back at what? Back above 102.2 in that area, then I will get Doge if it starts the week above. I mean, it just looks really nice, right? Average, average. I'd still like to hit that 12 cents and that 19 cent. That'd be cool to see. Uni not doing anything too well. Let's see. People like AVAX. So let's check out Cardano. Are these things doing anything? Cardano, why is that there? Daytime frame? Okay. This makes sense. Looking a little ugly, but I mean, not, I don't know if it matters. Let's see. This is the Bitcoin. Like, I could see this going up. It's just, I don't know. Like, when I look at this, it's way too far away from anything. Like, the 2 hour, everything else is far away. We have a 2 hour bounce over here 2 days ago. We're between the 1 hour. I don't know if I really want to look at the 1 hour. I don't hate this per se. I like how it does like respect it in a sense, but there's no real, even though it does respect it, I mean, it's not that bad. I'd say it's not that bad, actually. I'd say it's pretty decent. I'd say you could probably get a pretty decent idea of this with averages. I can't trade it, so I don't really care. I'm not going to look into it too much, but it's just so far away. Like things like this is where I buy. I don't like really trade things like this. I don't do small trades. I like super short term. It doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, so when you see stuff like this is where I get in, and then like maybe there's something on the 12. I think that's before the day time frame, though. Maybe there's something on the 4. Okay, so we could see like another possible entry spot. I don't like going any lower than that, really. AVAX, we're still at 38. I don't like this. This doesn't look good. I'm not saying it's not going to go up. I don't like this last candle. Where it is right now, I mean, to me, how I feel about this is I'm not surprised that we didn't push up here because we have this wick here. Um, let's see what happens if they can hold and push it up. I would have liked to have seen this push up at least to like at least past where this turned over. I would have liked to have seen this pushed up first before pushing down. Um, just like some, I don't know, maybe not, but I personally would. I just this looks like it wants to, especially with this, like just cup. So the fact it's struggling a little bit is a little concerning. This is also another concern. We started a day above. We still can't start a day above here for Bitcoin on AVAX, which is kind of the big issue. We can see the entry point right here. We can see an entry point here. Whoops. And then we can also see this. I don't think this is a big deal. This is okay. I mean, it depends. Well, it's a little high. I don't think it's that bad around the daytime frame. Some of these like go all the way up. I'll find one and point it out later. But some of these come all the way up, and then it's like I'm not touching that because we've already hit all the targets out. So I do kind of like that we didn't come here and hit the target and all that. But this looks nice as well. You can see you get in, blah, blah, blah. You would have gotten out. We switched over, too far over, sold, boom. And then we would have gotten in here. So that's nice. But long story short, I don't really like the way it looks. And I still like I said, I think this is going to be a real slow weekend. I really think this is going to be a real slow bearish weekend into a bullish next week. That's how I think it's going to go. We'll see with the dollar, but we'll get some more confirmation. So the dollar isn't completely out of the running yet. Ooh, I should have got some of this, but I don't know. It's like whatever. It's doing other things. I'm not really too worried about it. I was talking about this the other day. I wasn't sure whether to try to get into it or not. Um, I probably would have gotten out already. Just because, like I said, I still kind of expect things to trend down. So I wouldn't be surprised this comes down to 980, doesn't really do much, and then we just kind of like push up from there. That's what I would expect. Ripple, people look at that. I don't really care. Whoops, we don't have 200 weeks. Reminds me of Litecoin almost in a sense. Not exactly because Litecoin's just right. Litecoin literally goes right. Like this is literally Litecoin, to Bitcoin anyway. But yeah, I mean, unless we're up here at this point, do I actually ever care about Ripple? I'm gonna be honest, I don't think I do. But in regards to Litecoin, it reminds me of this. Is like, okay, just put the buy to Bitcoin down here. It's so far down. Like this is so far down. I'll show what I'm talking about. Um, whoops, whatever. Get rid of these. I don't care about them. Same kind of thing, right? You see what I'm saying with Litecoin? It's like, doosh, 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 boosh, doosh, doosh. Anyway, but we can see here. So I think Litecoin might be really good. I'm interested if it drops another 20%. I'm really interested. At least try and take a position. We'll see what happens though. I think that's just about it. Yeah, so I'll just end it with how I started. I think this is going to be a bearish weekend into a bullish next week. And I think to me the most important thing is since we're oversold so much on the dollar, regardless of the reason, because we're oversold on the dollar right now. We just skip this whole range. I think it's fine if we don't push down any farther and we hold here. I think it's fine. But if we start above, that's an issue. And if we push down further and we switch over here, we could have this happen all over again. And this is a big issue. And I'll show why one last time. And then I am done. And I hope you guys have a good night. So what are we doing? Week time frame, yeah. So and like to say this is going to happen, I don't think so. But like if you're looking possibility wise, yeah, sure it could happen. But will it happen? I really don't think so. My point is that because it's a possibility, it's going to be taken into consideration, right? So if we go week, if we look here, right? So look on the left, look on the right. Now just look at Bitcoins where we start. Boom, the first one we're in, first range. Boom, boom, boom. That first week when we start up here on the dollar in this new range above the post averages, boom, right? We just drop. So, that's kind of a concern. So that's pretty much how I feel about it. Bullish for the week, or bearish for the weekend, and then bullish in the next week is what I believe. We'll see with the dollar, but that is what I believe. Um, yeah, I don't think anything's really changed on a macro scale. Take care, y'all. Have a good night, and maybe I'll be on tomorrow. We'll see. I'm not sure.